Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. My name is Matt Roberts. I'm your host today, and man, we've got a good one in store. But before we jump into that, as always, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, share, leave a comment. Let us know what God's doing through this platform. We believe in telling stories, especially the stories of people in our church. And so we're going to jump right into today's episode with a special guest, my good friend, Matt Hart. Matty, welcome, my friend.
So I'm his co-host, Matt Hart.
That's right. Well, we could totally make that a thing.
The two Matts don't make a right pod. No.
But we just need a third. We need a third, and then it'd be three Matts make a right.
Yeah, three Matts make a right. We got like four more Matts in the church.
There's enough Matts at Pathway Church. But bro, welcome. Glad to have you here. Maybe some of you recognize Matt. Normally he has one of his beautiful guitars in front of him on stage. How many guitars do you own? That's the question.
We didn't agree about this part of the conversation.
But we're going here
because my wife only knows about half of it.
There it is. There's the truth.
I think I have. So long story short, not good financial decisions, but I don't care. I have about 12.
12. That's awesome. And you play them for every day of the week.
I change them up every time I play.
That's so fun.
That's my thing. Some guys like cars. Some guys like guns.
Yeah.
I'm a guitar guy.
You're a guitar guy, and I love that, man. But I love what's also cool is it's not just like you have these guitars just in a closet that you never play. You use them all the time. I mean, you're using them on the weekends at church. You're one of our worship leaders. You've also started gigging, and you've got a band now that you and your daughter and some guys that also serve here at Pathway.
The North Band Rocks.
The North Band Rocks.
Shameless plug.
No shame,
hit us up on Instagram.
Come on, you guys
booking
been
shows,
playing down at the park on Saturday nights, things like that.
It's been a fun,
dude. It's awesome.
Shout out to Donnie and Eli. I love you guys and my daughter.
Yeah, they're awesome. So if you ever get a chance to see these guys, they kill it. It's so fun, and I've gotten to become one of your buds, and I love you, even though we disagree on everything. Not everything sports.
Sports.
Sports. We were gonna say sports. We agree about a lot of things.
In the first half, not gonna lie, we disagree about everything.
No,
sports.
We don't align with our football choices, but there's grace for everybody, including you. But we do.
Not gonna do that. I'll leave for the 49ers.
You'll leave, and you know what? You're 2-0, and that's better than mine, so I'll take it. But no, it's been really cool. We've gotten a chance to serve together, become friends together. We've worked for the same companies together on the side, and but man, let's go back a little bit. Is Redding home? Like, did you grow up in Redding, California?
So I'm born in the Bay Area, so that's probably why we do connect on a lot of things. I'm born in Castro Valley.
Which is crazy because I was born in Oakland, and my family lives in Hayward, which is literally the same area, like a freeway street.
Yeah, it's just right down the street. Yeah. It's funny because my dad used to play in church leagues, and so I used to go with him in Oakland a lot, and that's where I learned to play basketball, which is where the skills came from.
The skills.
So I am a Bay Area kid through and through, but my mom was a traveling teacher, so we moved around California, Chico, a town called Tule Lake, which is near Oregon. And we moved to Shingletown, actually, in 1999.
Really?
And so we moved out there, and then, so obviously Shingletown, you tell anybody that, they're like, what's that? Like, don't worry about it. It's Redding.
It's Redding.
But I moved there in 99, so, and then, of course, graduated high school, moved down to Redding in about 2004, 2005, and then, so I've been at Redding. This is my home. Ever since I came and saw the mountains and everything, like after living in the Bay Area, as cool as it is, there's about like 1/10 amount of population up here, and I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm good with I don't like traffic. I don't like having to plan an hour to go a mile, and
I don't like smog.
I like to breathe and experience the fresh air. Yeah. Totally. And top of that, man, I know that you served. So I want to say thank you for your service, man.
Thank you.
And
17 years strong.
17 years. What made you decide, okay, I'm going to enlist and go into the military?
So I don't want to take the whole story, but honestly what it was like after high school, I got to tour in a Christian screamo band.
Okay. Which is awesome.
Which was really cool. Cycle Down, check them out there on MySpace, because that's how long it's been.
Come on,
that's how long it's been.
Let's bring back MySpace. The fear of everyone loves a good friend Tom, and the fact you can
cool.
the original
click on
coding.
Your profile, like what songs he like.
Right, exactly. You knew who your top friends were, which was also kind of brainwashing.
More
drama than needed, but the idea that it was a place that you could like customize your landing page.
Like, hey, bro, cool. Why am I on your top 5 anymore? What happened?
That's such a real conversation. A lot of young adults have no clue what we're talking about. They're like, what's MySpace?
Look, my wife, girlfriend at the time, we've been together for 22 years coming up. And we went through that MySpace time where she'd be like, you removed me from your top 5 spot. I'm like, yeah, because my dad, mom, and sister's there now, because that's the safe answer.
That's the safe answer.
She'd be like, whatever.
One day.
And Tom.
And Tom will always be there. Anyway, sorry, go back to...
a real millennial argument that happened in early 2000.
We just went to MySpace. Shout out to MySpace. Anyway, keep going.
So Screamo Band happened. Band ended. It was time to kind of like, I was 19 at the time, came home. So 2007, it was some kind of sidetrack. My father was a Navy vet. 28-year Navy vet, Senior Chief Hart. That man was my hero, everything to me. So 2007, without being too crazy about it, so like my sister passed away at the beginning of the year. Really rough on my whole family.
Wow.
At this time, I'm working at a guitar shop in town, New Song Music, which is right next to where Puerto Vallarta is and Lighthouse Fish and Chips. That really kind of shook a lot. And then I would say December 23rd, 2007, my father passed away, sudden heart attack. I remember this because I was on my way to my first 49er game against the Chiefs, which was his team. I got the call on the drive. Luckily, my best friend at the time, he was also enough in the family, goes, we're going home. So we went home.
Wow.
But that really shook me because I remember as a high school kid, he would come home with every branch of military, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Coast Guard. He didn't care. He was like, dude, just cut your hair. I had long black hair and a goatee. It was so stupid. So cool at the time, wearing skinny jeans.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But he would be like, just I want you to serve, not because I want anything other than I just, he knew about the values that service brought. And he wanted me to have success. And I see that now. At the time, I was like, no, Dad, I'm a rock star. I'm going to be cool.
Right.
So him passing away was a really big, like, okay. So I have no brothers. It was just, I have a bunch of sisters, and it was kind of, it felt like it was time to be the man. It was kind of that thing. And also it was like, I've got to do something now. I can no longer have any more. It's like that umbrella, that ceiling was gone.
Yeah. The covering was no longer there.
And I'm 20 years old, and obviously, I wasn't living with him. I was living on my own, but it was a really like a time to go. Everything that was really meant the world to me is gone now. And, the career I was working, like I said, just working at a guitar shop, which was closing. This 2007's Great Depression. I guess.
Yeah. When the market crashed.
Yeah, everything was rough. The guitar shop closed. Now I'm like moving into my grandma's house because everything's just kind of falling apart. And he passed away, and I said I got to do something. So that's when me and my buddy we were both in the same ballpark. The same buddy that was driving me. We went to talk to recruiters. We actually talked to all the branches. Talked to the Navy first, just out of my dad, but I don't like water.
Yeah.
Sharks, dude.
Not a no for you.
Talk to the Marines, and I'm going to be respectful. They're not my cup of tea. Cool dudes, but it was more of like the only branch that really spoke to me was the Army, because they're like, well, what do you want to do? I was like, well, I don't know. None of the other guys asked me what I want to do. And so I was like, well, I just want to do something cool. Get out of town. That's kind of my theory.
Yeah.
I want to get some college money. And so they're like, you want to be on tanks? I'm like, yeah, I want to be on tanks.
Yeah.
So I went from guitar stuff to a tank crewman. So that's what kind of joined. It was kind of like that legacy from my father.
Wow.
And time to really step out and be my own man was kind of it.
Wow.
And 17 years later, as of July, fun fact, I don't know if you heard, I'm getting promoted on October 1st to Master Sergeant, which is a big deal.
That's
I
huge,
just got
man.
that word a couple hours ago. So
congratulations, man. Dude, thanks.
Shout out to my wife. You're getting a pay raise, looks like.
Hey, that's right. You got that. Wait a second.
She's already got the math. She's like, oh, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Cool. No,
hey,
she's great.
That's huge, dude. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Masters. Wow.
Yeah, it's a big deal. So
you've put almost more than half of your life into this, and into your country, and into a very divided country. And we won't go all the way political, because I know that can just cause more division. Yeah, but I just know that it's to put something like that and to pour your heart out, and your wife and brothers and all of that into it, man. So did you deploy at all?
Yep. And so in 2009, I deployed to Iraq. So I was there in December of 2009. So I was up in around the Baghdad area, which specifically Fab Muhammadiyah would be the base. That, if anybody is a historian, up there in what was called the Triangle of Death. And so spent 12 months out there.
Wow.
God was really good for me. Honestly, it is crazy to say, like, that was like growing up Christian though, but that was the year that I was like, I need to make it. I need to be like, hey, God, I might be seeing you any day now.
Wow.
There's a chance that I could be seeing you in the next 30 minutes, depending. Yeah. Sorry, it's contraption. But so it was really cool to be kind of like, even though that was happening, like I was like, all right, I'm going to die. That was kind of the beginning of my adulthood of diving into the Word.
Okay, Cool. I was going to ask, so you grew up in a Christian home, the whole, mom and dad, everybody?
I would say the first half was probably religious Christian.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Like we go to church every week.
Go to church, but but also my wonderful mother did admit that the church we were going to was like one of those Bay Area Church of Christ's, which turned out on the out end. Oh, it was a little culty. I know that I'm not trying to bash on anybody, but I know that whatever that group was kind of
it's like the Frozen Chosen. You have to be in the inside club, and nobody else is welcome in.
Got involved in things they shouldn't get involved into, and it was like, oh, okay. And luckily, my parents recognized that and moved out. So I would say I was raised in a prayer home.
Yeah. Okay.
My dad, Navy vet, kind of a foul-mouthed sailor, Navy vet, but that man loved the Lord.
That's cool.
Man, he was one of those like, hey, Maddie, make fun of me, but at church he's like, hey, take your hat off. You know what I mean? Right. So he was very very traditional like that.
That's cool. When did I know you said when you deployed, that's when it started to come real, but was there a moment before then where it was like, no, this is my faith, or was that the moment when you were out in Iraq where you're like, no, I actually am recognizing I can't do this on my own?
I'm going to say another triggering word for our age group, acquire the fire.
Oh yeah.
You remember that? Saved young, baptized young, obviously, but I remember at acquire the fire, I think is where I actually saw, I can honestly say I felt presence, and I was like, okay, this is something that I'm going to be committed to.
Yeah.
This is real. There's no longer denying it. Seeing people get saved, seeing, the great things that happened during the acquire fire time. And also I was in an amazing youth group. The church I was going to, Shingletown, was called New Life Christian Fellowship. George Hall was our youth pastor, and that man, to this day, I love that man and his wife Adele, but they were such good examples of Jesus. And they invested in us in youth in a way that I don't see a lot of people, let alone youth pastors or not. They just invested. Fun fact, they went to our show at the park. That's how much their family they were to me. And but they were just really good examples.
Yeah.
And so being in that good youth group with fellow bros, growing up with my drummer Donnie, who was even there, we all were able to have that good moment where it's real, where it felt like church was like us going to the hospital. We're here to heal, we're here to grow, and I don't know, it was just really good. And so I just remember being at Acquire the Fire, and just going, this is it. This is where I don't turn back.
Yeah. I think that's one of the coolest things, because I think the importance of youth group, especially a well-done youth group where, the people are, there's a culture of you're known and you're feeling like you're being pursued. I can relate, man. Church with my parents, not for me, but my youth group, or my mentor, my small group leader would come pick us up and take us out for food, or we would do the dumbest stuff possible, get in so much trouble. But my small group leader was right there doing it with us, and I was like, okay, I'm in on this. This guy's cool. And I also remember that's usually when I hit one of my low points, is I had a few of those guys, my buddies and my mentors from youth group, rally alongside of me, you know, and I think that's because those were some serious roots that were planted in me at a young age, that when I even wanted to maybe run away from church, that was always one thing that brought me back.
It's taught me the importance of the youth, and that's of the roots growing at that age. Because even though we've all grown up and stumbled and learned about life, and but it's almost like you're that tree that keeps trying to fall over. Nope, can't fall over because this thing is real underneath.
They're too deep. I've got too many weeds.
You did mention you did stupid stuff in youth group. We actually have a video out on YouTube that we kept back in 2000. I want to say 2 or 1. We made a video called Jack Idiot.
Yeah.
So a bunch of teenagers, your first camcorder, you know what I mean? And we were doing our own version.
Like the Apple edits and all that were not really that big yet.
It was just you, and you put the cassette in there, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Or the VHS.
Yes.
Roman, you know what a VHS is?
Yes.
I didn't think so. But
that's amazing.
Yeah, we did. It's like a 30-minute video. It's funny because recent years, Keith, who also goes to Pathway, he said, I still have the DVD. I said, send it to me. I loaded it up and put it on YouTube. But it was there's videos of us doing stupid stunts at the church And then George come out, and is usually when he showed up on camera, he's like, "What are you guys doing? Knock it off!" Like, we're gonna keep going, George. He's like, "Oh, they love Jesus."
Yeah, they're here though. They could be doing some stupid stuff somewhere else, but they're doing it here.
They're all sober. They're all gonna be at church tomorrow. I mean, except for him, he might have broke his leg.
Yeah, but we'll bring church.
I got an answer to that one.
Yeah,
right.
Insurance is really big.
We got a good. We're doing great.
No, that's cool. I love, and I would say that's one of the coolest things that you have, the memories there. And so I can imagine. Now, where did Sam come into the picture in all of this for you?
Oh, Sam. So
Sam is his wife.
Sam is my wonderful wife. Me and her have a. I'm just saying this for the podcast, man. We have that relationship where we just dog on each other all the time.
Which is one of those great relationships.
Yeah, honestly,
she's your best friend.
She is, there's a lot of people like, oh, don't say that about your wife. I'm like, that woman is my best friend.
Yeah.
Like, I have ditched hanging out with the bros for her. Also, she can nag at me about how many guitars I own. But
12, by the way.
So,
12.
Funny fact about Acquire the Fire, one of the last years I went to, I remember they did a thing called Crush the Crush. They said, be single for a year, give God a year of your life. I pledged. This is before I met her, and then I met her. So we met at I went to high school in Liberty Christian, all the way up to like middle of junior year. I left Liberty Christian for what is time to switch schools type of thing. I don't want to get too much into that, but I'm sorry, I had a portable mac and cheese in the car, so we went to we met at I left that school and I went to Modoc Charter, which was like a computerized, I don't know explain. It's a charter school, so a bunch of different grades there. But I went to like the classroom. Everyone's in a computer. It's independent study is the word I'm using for it. And that's where I met her. Crazy. We turns out she actually used to come to Shingletown for youth events. So I actually known her, but I just never talked to her.
Sure.
Just I don't know. I was cooler than her. That's why.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but so we met at school at Modoc Charter, and it was kind of crazy because we hit it off instantly, and we were really cool. I remember she was like. You play guitar. Because I remember that she opened up my CD case.
Yes.
You remember CD?
Oh,
little CD players with a 45-minute skip delay on the.
Yep.
Hey, Roman, you know what a CD? Never mind. So I remember I had it on my table and she opened it up and it was a Stevie Ray Vaughan CD, great blues guitar player. And she's like, you like Stevie Ray Vaughan? I was like, you don't know who Stevie Ray Vaughan is. You're a 16-year-old girl. You like Missy Elliott and all that other stuff. She's like, you think I don't know what Stevie Ray Vaughan is? You know who my dad is? I was like, I don't know who your dad is. So it was kind of a weird thing, like kind of brought my attention. And then I can honestly say, though, so we met at high school. She pursued me. She's smart, but I kind of gave her the whole, like, I can't, I'm on Crush the Crush. Like, I can't date anybody until for a couple months.
Right.
I used to walk her to her mom's work at the end of school, and we just hang out. Her mom would feed me just for walking her to school, and then they dropped me back off at the school, and then I'd get home with my mom. But it's the kind of crazy part is like, and then we saw each other on the 1-year anniversary at the next Acquire the Fire. We ran into each other at Arco Arena, which I don't know what it's called now, in Sacramento, and we were kind of inseparable since.
Dude, that's awesome.
It's almost like when I gave the year to God, and then that was like my prize. And here we are, 38 years old. It's been 22 years since then, and
so cool, man.
2 kids, and she's the most supportive, amazing person. The best representative of Christ in my life is my wife. Yeah, she really is.
Dude, she's also one of our worship leaders here. But also, I mean, you guys led a small group. You guys are just active, and And what on top of that too is you guys are some of the coolest parents I've ever experienced, and you just love your kids raw, real, but also you're not going to put up with stuff like there's still that like you're gonna learn respect. Yeah. But I see your kids; they genuinely have found their own faith in the Lord, and I think a lot of it is by watching their parents walk out their own faith and serve and be a part of things and all of that. So, dude, I just love your family, man, and it's been cool to see, and I love that. I mean, I always tell our young adults, like Roman over there, who's our media guy back there doing his thing, but it's like, if you're serving in church or if you're dedicating time to God and you recognize who are the people running alongside of me, then all of a sudden when you get to that place, you're like, well, you're pretty cool. Yeah. Maybe this could be a thing. And that sounds like very, very much like this. Yeah. And like you became really good friends with this person. And the next thing you know, after that time clicked, then you and Sam are hit it off. And so when did you guys get married? Before or after you enlisted and went off?
So we started dating. We dated for about 5 years. It's actually, we were not good dating partners because we're teenagers though. As we say that now, but like I think we're just average teenagers. Like fought over the MySpace friends list, like fights. Like, oh, you never loved me. I was like, Tom,
prove it. MySpace, got it.
Was that song about me on your homepage? Yeah, no, but so actually we her story is like she actually got accepted into master's commission in Sacramento. Wow. That I don't know if you recognize that. Was a big thing in the early 2000s. So she went down to Sacramento for master's commission. They told her you have to break up with your boyfriend. And it was crazy for me. It's like, we've been together for 4 years. What do you mean we're breaking up? Yeah. But she wanted to, she felt like this is her chance to serve God in a way. And also our relationship was, we were both 19, almost 20 at this point. Nothing's moving. When you're at that point and there's really nothing, it's kind of hard to, I guess. And so we actually ended up splitting up. She went to master's commission. I didn't join the Army quite yet. I kind of still dabbled around Reading. And then that's when my dad passed away. And even though we and her broke up, I'm going to sell her out. She broke all the master's commission rules and was there for me during that time. Wow. Even though we weren't a thing, she was just like, I'm not going to leave you alone. Yeah. Cause she loved my dad too. Yeah, and my sister when that happened. So, and then I shortly joined the Army thereafter. Went to boot camp. It's funny because we really did stop talking for a while because I shipped on April 1st of 2008 to boot camp. So we haven't talked in a while. I think the last time I did talk to her was probably like that January. And then I'm at boot camp. I'm getting close to graduation. I'm graduating in like a week. And back then, before cell phones were even that cool, you had the card for the phone booth.
Oh yeah,
the little card you had to go. You remember CALLATT 1-800, but this one was like the type in the code. Yep. And then I remember just like I called my family, let them know I'm graduating, called everybody, and then just out of nowhere I was like, I'm gonna call her. Yeah, I'm gonna call her. Hey, it's Matt. She goes, oh my gosh, what are you doing? I was like, I'm graduating boot camp soon. She goes, really? I was like, yeah. And I got my orders. I'm going to be moving to Georgia soon. She's like, that's crazy. I was like, you want to go? And she was like, yeah. It was just a crazy thing. Like that was the official proposal. No, but it was funny because I know for a fact though, I think she had a boyfriend during that time because we're split up, and I think she's like ended it with him instantly after that phone call. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna put words in her mouth. Yes. But it was pretty funny because I hung up, and then I came back from boot camp, and the next day I got into my car. I drove down to see her, and it was like we never split up. Wow. It was just so amazing. And so we end up, everyone wanted us to get married like right away. I was like, no, I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to, you know what I mean? So I got to Fort Stewart, Georgia. I got myself situated in my unit and I found an apartment and then I flew her out to Florida. I proposed on River Street in Savannah, Georgia. Wow. And then it was Labor Day weekend when I proposed. So Labor Day weekend is what, September? Mm-hmm. So fun, enjoy this timeline. So that weekend we go down to like Disney World and all that stuff. We have a weekend together. And then we got married October 14th.
Love it. Short.
Quick.
Short and sweet, man.
Cheap.
Short engagements are the way, man.
We could never afford net sound back then. Tim would have cost us so much money. It was like our church were like, hey, we'll give you like a tri-tip to the pastor if he just let us use the building. Hey. Instantly got married quick. And then, it'll be 17 years of marriage this October coming up. So
Wow. And she knew what she was signing up for. I mean, deployment, military.
She forgets sometimes. You know what I mean? She gets a little lippy.
A little lippy.
I'm like, hey, you're welcome for what?
Right.
Just kidding. She works. She has a great job. She's great.
I got back pedal.
Yeah. So you could have said no.
You could have said no. That's right. You could. I love you guys so much. So what brought you guys back to Reading? I mean, right now you're over there. You have you're deployed, all that. Yep. And then you're living life. And then what brings you back?
So in the Army, at the time I went from Iraq. I was in Fort Stewart, Georgia. Then we moved to South Korea for 2 years, best 2 years of our career. Moved to El Paso, Texas, which was Fort Bliss for 2 years. And then the Army says, guess what? You're going recruiting. And at the time, I'm a tank guy. I feel like I'm the best tanker the United States government has to offer. I will destroy the enemies of the United States. Give me a chance. Yeah. I was that guy. And they're like, no, you're going to go. We're going to move you back to the Bay Area, and you're going to go talk to kids and tell them the good news about the Army. And that was like, no. Yeah. But the Army said, you go recruiting, I go recruiting. So I got orders. So we actually moved to Mountain View, California, so across the bay. We were on the East Bay, which isn't as rich as the other Bay.
No, not quite. Not
Nope.
quite.
Like I had bosses tell me, you need to go to Stanford University and 5 kids to join the Army. I was like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sarge, but they don't like me. So, but it was, so recruiting is what happened. Cool thing is in Mountain View, got really well connected in a great church. Shout out Current Silicon Valley. Those guys are the best. And, God, the chapters, and that was really about like humbling myself and kind of being able to be a blessing in different ways. And so I learned a lot. And then recruiting became easy to me. It just became something I like doing. I think it's kind of crazy because it's like, I hate to take a back step, but there's a chaplain in South Korea, in old Baptist chaplains. So most military chaplains are kind of versed in a lot of the religions. Yeah. They have to teach different. And I remember talking to him about what it's like being a Christian in the Army and how difficult that is. And he goes, "Is it that difficult?" He goes, "Or are you just not recognizing that this is your ministry? This is your mission field is the soldiers." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So the day I treated recruiting like a ministry, it felt like it changed, because now I'm helping people that are just trying to just make it better in their life. Right. A lot of people come from really rich neighborhoods. They're just trying to do something different, be cool. But then there's people who are like, I want to break out of the norm and just be different. And that yearning to help people shifted. And then all of a sudden recruiting became easy. And so it's good enough that the Army is like, hey, you can do this for the rest of your career. Wow. So I was able to do a complete career shift. And then, fast forward through places recruiting in San Francisco. And then all of a sudden the Army is like, I felt like God blessed us. Like I got a call saying, you can recruit back in your hometown, Reading. I was like, I can? Let's go. Let's do it. Wow. And so that was kind of how it worked out.
Wow. When was this? What year did you guys come back?
We moved here, I want to say 2022. Yeah, okay. Early 22 is when we moved up here. So we've been up here 3 years.
Yeah, so just like a year before I got here.
Yeah, so fun fact, we were actually living in Fairfield. Sorry, portable mac and cheese. We were living in Fairfield, and we started attending Pathway when we lived in Fairfield.
What?
So Samantha's parents were already going here.
Yeah, okay.
I came up for a couple services, and Dan introduced me to Tim. And, my relationship with Tim was just like, oh, hi, my name's Matt. Hi, my name's Tim. I like guitars. Okay. Oh, I love you. And we became, two best friends that could have. Yes. Basically, we hit it off really well. We talk, and he's like, hey, you ever want to play? I was like, I live 3 hours away. He goes, you can stay at your in-laws' house. I'm like, that's crazy for you to volunteer their couch, but okay. But I took it. I was like, oh, okay. You have that.
Volunteered your in-laws' couch. Yeah, fantastic.
My in-laws have cats. Can I not? But no. So we actually, I think for a year probably before we moved up here, we were actively coming up probably once a month, maybe twice a month. We'd come up on that Saturday, do a practice, stay at the in-laws' house. Next day, do church, come back down. Wow. So we were pretty connected to get brought up here. So it was an easy shift to come to Pathway. Yeah. We were like already kind of coming.
Yeah. And then since that time, you've been a part of this. And what's the time at Pathway been like for you guys?
This, I don't know how to explain it. There's a lot of I hear a lot of people talk about that mega church feeling, or the super church is the word. There are always bad connotations about it. And then I walk in a Pathway, I'm like, there's a lot of people, but it doesn't have that feel. I would say super church size with the small church feel. Yeah. It's been so, the community has been the most supportive thing that I've ever seen. Yeah. I've never seen more people willing to drop at a hat to help in any way you can. Part of us moving to Reading and staying at Reading so long has been due to, like, we get reference letters from, like, Tim and Pastor Bill to, like, hey, we request to stay in Reading because this is what they do for us in the community, and the Army does value that, and they've respected that thus far. So Pathway's just been such a good thing, and then also like see God in such a way that just feels like you're like seeing behind the veil of the religious stuff that I've always thought was the thing. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it totally does.
I'm just seeing like, oh, this is about relationships. This is about what the word says to the letter. And it's actually not that complicated. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool. Just be a good dude and love God. Like it's, you know what I mean? But also, you got people here for you. And,
absolutely.
It's been great.
No, it's so good. I mean, and one of the reasons why I asked you to sit on the pod, not just, this could have been for just this alone, but we had a pretty amazing, well, it was a pretty hard week last week. Last week was the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And I know that the world is pretty divided, pretty broken. Churches are split too on, are we upset? Was he racist? All this political stuff. And I'm just, we're going to not go there.
Yeah.
But one of the things that we as a church had on the calendar 2 months prior was a worship night on Friday night that you were a part of. And there was one of those moments where we were texting, and you actually texted me like, I feel like God's about to do something pretty cool. And I was like, I'm with you, man. Like, the fact that this was on, I don't believe in coincidence. Like, I believe God's too intentional for that. Like, I believe that there's such an important thing about that. And what does the church do when tragedy strikes like this? And regardless of what you thought as one of our brothers, whether we argue, we don't agree the same things, but if something happened to you and I know you, I'd be petrified, mortified, everything in between. And there's a guy out there that I didn't know, but I knew he loved the Lord and he was preaching the gospel, and his life was taken. And man, when that happened, what were some of the emotions for you that you got hit with? Because I think that, especially being in military, being the guy who's advocating for a better country, in the midst of all the pain and all the division, and there's like three sides to every story, and all of that. But what was some of the raw emotion that hit you with that? Because I know that hit you pretty hard.
Yeah, it messed me up. Yeah, but the first day it was just like shock the whole day. Like, really? And in my office, with the fellow Army guys, I love the Army because it's just all different walks of life, different religions, different skin colors, different everything, and we don't care. We're all green. That's what we keep saying. That's the beautiful thing about the Army. But we're all like in shock. We're all like, what? And it was kind of like that shifted to like I was just telling the guys, like, dude, I spent 17 years in this Army trying to improve my country. I've got friends that died in Iraq. I've got friends that died in Afghanistan, and I got friends, unaliving themselves because of the way they feel like that the way the country's going and the way that transition is. And that's a world that a military service member sees. And then seeing this, and then you see the reactions on some of the sides, what I considered horrifying of that reaction was just crazy. And then you're just like, this is what my 17 years is going to, and my friends that are never going to, that are no longer here, this is where it's at. So there's a lot of shock shifted to anger pretty quick.
Makes sense.
Like, it was just like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And the next morning, my daughter, my wonderful daughter, Christina, shout out Christina, she tells me, she goes, Dad, one of my friends on Instagram, one of our best friends on the planet, made a celebration post. She was like, I can't be around that. And so this isn't like a me telling her what to do. She's like, that's crazy. That's not a thing I want to have in my life. She was telling me. And I was like, okay, cool. So we were driving to school. She's got a permit now. It's scary. So she was driving to school. But we were talking about it, and I was telling her, I was like, this is the first time in my life, and I don't know about modern American history, we have witnessed actual martyr for Jesus.
Yeah. Right.
This is the first martyr.
Right.
Like, I remember reading about the books in the old days. I remember hearing about it. I remember the old DC Talk book.
Yeah, missionaries going overseas, things like that. But for their faith in our own hometown.
Never in the United States.
Correct.
How could, and then
that's the beauty of the United States, the freedom of speech.
Yeah.
I can have a different opinion, and we can agree to disagree, but we're gonna have a peaceful conversation about it, or we're just not gonna be friends, right?
Yeah. And then I think we've crowned martyrs that were not really martyrs. Like, somebody who's I
agree.
Just because you got yelled out on Facebook doesn't make you a martyr. I think, you know what I mean? But this is the first time we saw that and change everything. So having a good spiritual conversation with my 16-year-old daughter was big, because she's like, yeah, Dad, I just want to be, she confirmed, like, no one's going to shake my faith type of thing. She loves Jesus too. And so it was really good. And we prayed at the end and dropped her off. And then that morning, and I think it's funny, I think everybody shared it, but like, I had this huge sense of mourning, like actually like sadness, pure, like this really happened. And I had to pull over, and I don't cry, Matt. I don't cry. I lost my tear ducts in the war. All right, I don't cry.
Right. Your eyeballs just sweat.
Yeah, but no, I was uncontrollably had to pull over.
Yeah.
I was just like, golly, like it was everything from the sorrow of like the country thing, but really just felt like we lost someone.
Yeah.
And it was it really was like a moment. I was like, oh, and it's funny because I reached out to two people, and that was you and Tim. And appreciate you guys for responding quickly. But like, it was just one of those like, okay, all right, Like I'm driving to work. I'm like, all right, cool. I guess I'm not going to the gym. Leg day is canceled. Yay. But, I remember cleaning up, and then I remember my wife was like, hey, can you, fun fact, I had to go pick up my wallet right afterwards for my wife's work. So I pull up, I'm just, sobbing, swollen, and, and she says, can you come in and get your wallet? And I'm looking at her like this. No, out of the window. So Sergeant Hart's not walking in there looking like this.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, but she was working. I couldn't do that. She's a physical therapist aide. And I pulled over and took like 10 minutes to go, oh, we're good, we're good. Yeah. Oh, we can do this. Just run in and grab the wallet. Went in and grabbed the wallet, came out. And then, it was just like that whole morning was just pure sorrow. And then, and it was crazy. Like, so it was, can't get any work done. So I'm on, but then like, it's feel like the sorrow went away, and then it quickly flipped into like, you ready? It was almost like, it really felt like I saw what I believe is one of the most fired for Jesus person I've ever seen in my life go out. And then it made me convicted that I've been lukewarm in my faith. And that's where it shifted instantly. Like I really felt like, Matt, you've been lukewarm. 'Cause not ashamed of Jesus, but I'm not telling people. Yeah. Like I don't care. In other words, the brash term was didn't care if they went to hell, because I didn't want to make it uncomfortable for me or anybody else. And it was like a shift. I was like, oh, something's up. And then of course you get on TikTok, you see a lot of people like, anybody else just feel that? And it's weird how like TikTok became like a ministry thing for a little bit, but it's like a lot of people were like, anybody else feel that? And then I remember texting you about the Kool-Aid man, the Holy Spirit bursting through my heart like the Kool-Aid man, like, hey, something's coming. Yeah. And it felt like a flip was switched. And I was like, all right, Lord, what is this? Right. What is this? And all I could the word just kept coming up as mission. Yeah. It's mission time. You know, and that's my verbiage in the military, but like mission. All right, what's my mission, Lord? And I kind of broke it down, and I feel like he's told me, and there's 3 phases to your mission right now. It's, work on you, phase 1. Get yourself right. So me and him, we're healing. You know what I mean? Lord, I could do this better. I promise. I love you. You know what I mean? Right. Pull it. Fun fact.
And we always can be doing something better. So, right.
Fun fact. I've read the Bible on my phone. There's something about reading off the paper.
It's better.
You know why? I don't have that distraction thing waiting there. I don't have a notification. I don't have like, all right, cool. Bible is over. Back to Instagram. Right. You know what I mean? It's just like put that away. And something about reading off the paper has really changed it and made it so much more. So young kids, put the phone down, read the Bible, get the paper. It's definitely been a huge difference. So, my phase 1 is work on me. My phase 2 is, family and friends, loved ones. And then 3 is everyone else. Yeah. I don't know what that means, but that's the only thing I keep thinking about.
But dude, I was just so on cloud 9. We had Friday night, which was an amazing worship night. And it wasn't just because the music was played well or everyone sang really great, or there was just something about it. This was, as a collective group, we were unified around scripture. We were unified around God's word. We remembered the body and the blood through communion. Like we remembered and really just made Jesus the focus. And then on top of that, there was this, we're all going to take a next step. Right. Yeah. And then you came up to me afterwards and you're just like, I'm mission. I'm on mission. And then I was like, dude, that's awesome. Like I'm stoked. And I don't exactly know how it's going to look, but I'm excited to see, right?
I remember it was really quick and everyone's like, good job, guys. We're like, yeah. Anyway, we're trying to talk. All right, we'll talk later.
We'll talk later. And then Saturday, we at the church, we're doing baptisms and Pastor Bill's preaching the gospel. Very much the same thing of like, how do you punch the devil back in the teeth? Well, you're going to preach the good news. We're going to preach the good news, and we're going to baptize people. And so we did that. Hundreds of people got saved, 50 plus baptisms, powerful weekend. Yeah. But then I get on Instagram Saturday night or Facebook, one of the 2 platforms I'm on, and I'm scrolling, and all of a sudden I see it's your band. And I see you.
North Band Rocks on Instagram.
North Band Rocks on Instagram. And I'm scrolling, and usually it's cover songs, and I'm like, yep, like, love, share, all that. And then I get to this part where it's you, and you are walking out your mission, dude. Like you're using the platform, and you in a very Matt way break the ice for anybody there. You just had a fun concert, and you just tell people, hey, we love you. The greatest thing in your life that you need is Jesus. So, dude, I just have to say, so proud. Like, not easy to do. to take a fun concert that you're being contracted for to pay to play and all this, and now you take it and then you use that to remind people that there's a bigger hope in their life than what they're putting their hope in. So, dude, as a brother, I just want to say I saw it and I see it, and I know that you don't even know the fruit yet of the seeds that have been sowed, and you might have been like, nobody came and talked to me. It doesn't matter. The seed's been planted. Like your connection with people, the gifting that God has put in you with recruiting, I see it as a gift now, what he's going to do with your mission moving forward. You can talk to anybody and you can easily have a relationship with anybody. You're probably the guy that makes friends in like bathroom stalls, not in a weird way, but just you guys are washing hands and you can find a common ground on something.
Depends on the gas station.
Depends on the gas station.
At a Buc-ee's all day long.
Buc-ee's all day. But dude, you have a gift and I'm just so proud of you and excited to see. And again, it's leaking in the best of ways. It's overflowing is the better word into your kids, into your wife, and their boldness and their courage for Christina to be like, yeah, I need to be bold in my faith. I want to sing. I want to be a worship leader on my birthday of all things. Like, come on. Like, what 16-year-old girl is doing that? No. I know of yours, you know, and then they're all wanting to serve and be a part of this great thing. But man, what I saw was, and you could have easily got on a podcast and started, going political and pointing fingers. And I know there's a part of you that even wants to do that, as we all want to. But what I saw you do instead was use the gifts of music, use the thing that touches the souls of people, and then you tell them about Jesus. Like, come on. So, man, I just have to say, I'm very proud. And as a brother, I'm very blessed by you. And I wasn't able to go to the concert because my kids lose their mind around 7. But watching from afar, to see your boldness and your courage. I've been emotional the last week. Just something can just take me, and I'm just like, I'm a bubbly mess. And I'm more of a crier. I'm more in tune in that way. But
every Sunday after the game.
Yeah, I'm a Raiders fan, so I cry all the time. It's
another interception. That's fine.
That's not there. 3 interceptions, and I'm painful.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it hurts.
Jesus is back on.
Gino will be fine. Anyway, we're back. But this week and more so, it's just like God's got something in store, and all we have to do is just be ready, and we just need to be willing and take that boldness, and we can't let fear stop, because fear of how this will be perceived, or fear of how I might lose this relationship, or fear of they might not want to talk to me ever again. Like, is that gonna? And then past it used to stop me because I cared so much about
100%.
people, and I still do. But is by me caring about people, I realize I actually care more about myself if I don't say something.
There it is.
And that's where I felt like the Lord convicted me. And I'm a pastor. And it was like, even preaching the gospel in front of hundreds of people is I can do that. But with my own family members, I felt convicted of Matt.
Yeah, the intimacy part of it, having the one-on-one.
Yeah, I broke down yesterday talking about this with some of our staff members. And I just was like, I got a mission. And it starts in my own home. And it starts in my own family. And then we'll see, and then from there we'll go. But anyway, I just appreciate you because you've inspired me, man. And it just means a lot. And I know God's got it in store, and God's, like we said on Friday, God is the only one that can take what the enemy meant for evil with this, and he's going to turn it into something greater. Yeah. And like Pastor Bill said, we're just going to raise up 100 million more people who are going to share the gospel of Christ. And so, dude, I got one more question for you because I always say this at the end of every pod, but if you could tell a younger self, or you've got kids, so I know you're telling them now, or young adults that are around, and Roman's over there listening, what would you encourage this generation with, or the younger version of yourself when it comes to faith, Jesus, the church? Like, what would be that word of encouragement for them?
Man, I try to think of what I was into back then. It was just like, guitars, soccer, and girls, you know what I mean? But honestly, if I could go back and just be like, hey, man, God really has it. Like, you may not think he does. Like, he always, every time something new happens that you're not ready for, like, he makes it into something great. Yeah. Every time. There's no arguments, no matter how far you feel away, he's there. It's almost like the whole, just let it go. Let nothing matters. I don't know how to explain it except for just, stop trying to control, stop trying to hold on to that steering wheel a little bit. And just, God's going to take care of you. He always does. Yeah. When I first joined the Army, I was scared. but it turned into a miraculous thing. Honestly, when I was at the show, like, I didn't even think I was going to say anything until after Friday worship service. I thought, I'm going to have a microphone. There's going to be people. I can't not say something.
Right.
In that morning I was telling the band about it. I was like, I think I should say something about Jesus, guys. And they're all like, and both of them are, they go pathway. They're like, yeah, why wouldn't you? I was like, oh, okay. So you guys knew? Cool. Thanks for the heads up. It's fine. You guys have mics too. But when we got the last two songs, I actually was like, nah, I don't need to say it. It was weird. I had the moment of going, nah, you'll be fine. You don't need to say it. There's a lot. It was a pretty crowded show. And I was like, nah, you don't need to say it. And as soon as I thought that, my son went, nope. Like, you're going to do this, or you're going to say no, you're going to let them. And so, I was very nervous. I didn't even know it was recorded until you sent it to me, by the way. So I was like, oh, thanks, Samantha. But it's that whole, like, no matter when you're growing up, like, there's a lot of things that you think are important are just not important.
Right.
What's important is Jesus and your loved ones. Like, that's it. None of these things are going with us forever. Everything that you're holding on to dear, these beautiful cameras, my nice guitars, our cars, your Prius, like, they're not going anywhere. It's just things.
Yeah.
But Jesus he's there, and your loved ones and your family is there, and just focus on those.
Yeah.
And the blessings that come about when Jesus is first, like, the blessings that come out are just, it's something that you don't even know are happening half the time, but it's overwhelming when you get down to it.
Yeah.
When you sit down and you go, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Is this really happening?
Right.
It's overwhelming.
Dude.
It's crazy on what he does.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so good, man. Mm-hmm. Well, man, thanks for taking time out of your day to be here, to be on the pod. And I just appreciate you so much, man. I love you. And I'm excited to see what God continues to do.